Hi, everyone. So let's do a reading for what you don't see. It's good to use the big picture oracle system for this because there's a spread specifically that we can use to try to discern things that we are not seeing clearly. So I'm going to do a 5x3 spread with the big picture oracle system and see what comes out. So we're starting with the woman, the mouse, the train, the clouds, the broken mirror, the cross, the key, the scythe. This represents you, the moon, the letter, the tower, the ring, the dog, and the lily. So let's get into this. So right at the center of the spread, I'm seeing the scythe. So this is telling me very much so that you are aware that something is amiss, that you understand that the energy around you is not a good energy, that there's something that you know is working against you in some way, maybe some lesson that needs to be learned, but you're highly aware of the fact that something is wrong in your energy. In these two corners, I'm seeing the woman and the lily. So it feels to me that there is a person around you. And this could be a spirit guide, honestly, because the woman is coming in with the lily. I'm feeling strongly that you are being guided right now. The stars card didn't pop up, but I feel like maybe it didn't have to, because I am getting the sense that you are being guided by your guides right now, because of a situation that perhaps is a very tricky situation, one that they're cautioning you about. So if you feel like you're in some kind of a situation where something doesn't feel right, your guides are here. That's what I have so far. So if we look at this line here and we're trying to see maybe some experiences you've had and where you're heading, it feels to me with the cross and the key that this is a combination of spiritual lessons, that there's something that you learned from this situation that you are in. But because the key is something in your past, something that you've already experienced, it's telling me that you've already learned this lesson. The cross is here saying you were meant to learn something from the situation that you're in. The key is saying that you did learn that you now hold the answer to that. So for you to still be in this situation when there is a scythe right in the center of this spread means that you've been here too long now. You've learned the lesson, so it's time to move on, is what I have so far. Then we have you coming in here. I like that you're showing up here with the moon, because this is about recognizing something with your intuition. So even if whatever situation you're in right now that you know doesn't feel right, you may be still convincing yourself with your thinking mind, with your ego. There might be things around you that you are still convincing yourself that there's reason to be there. But in your future energy, I can see you really tapping into your intuition with the moon and really recognizing through your intuition that you're being guided away from this. Again, with the woman and the lily, it makes me feel like there's a guide who's really encouraging you to move on from this situation because the lesson was learned. That's already done. So if we look at this 9-card spread here in the center, I'm seeing that there's a commitment here. And so this could be a lot of different things. This could be a marriage for some of you, a long-term relationship for some of you that you know is amiss, that you've learned the lesson and it's time to move on. But this could also be a job, because the ring and the tower can often represent contracts or long-term positions, corporate work. So it does feel to me like this could be different for a lot of you, but the ring represents some kind of a commitment, some kind of a contract. So whether this is a a personal relationship or a work relationship, make that make sense. But with the ring, it's really a commitment with something or someone else. But with the train being the thing that's on your mind, because it's in this position, I can tell that you want to get the heck out of there. I can tell that you want to escape this position, that you have been thinking about this for a while now, if it's leaving the relationship or if it's leaving the job. So this all feels like you are aligned with the energy, that you understand that you want to get out of there, that you're feeling like you want to get out of there, and you're being guided away from it. So it feels like you are in alignment with your guides. Because it does this, the mouse with the dog coming in these opposite diagonals, and then the clouds with the tower are telling me the same thing, that whoever this is in this situation, whether this is co-workers, whether this is a person that you are romantically involved with, this person or this place or this thing that you're trying to get out of, they're really in some kind of a lack mentality. So maybe you're not being paid enough in what you're doing. Maybe you're not getting enough clients in what you're doing. If this is a love situation, perhaps you're being breadcrumbed and you're given very little so that you will stay interested, but yet you know that something is amiss here. And the clouds with the tower are giving the same thing. The clouds are generally when someone is trying to deliberately confuse you. That's my gaslighting card sometimes. But it feels like in this case with the clouds and the tower that someone is trying to cloud your intuition with the tower, because the tower can also be a card of meditation and self-awareness. So I do feel like someone is deliberately trying to interfere with your intuition, because your intuition is exactly the thing that's going to tell you to get the heck out of there. So I feel like this situation here with the scythe being right at the center, there is a person or a place or a job that's keeping you too small, underpaying you, undergiving, underloving you, whatever it is, but also deliberately trying to put obstacles in your way so that you can't move on. So, and I think you know this. I think that you're very aware of the fact that there is a person who's breadcrumbing you, or a person who's not paying you enough, or a job that's not big enough for you. You know this. And this is interesting because it's good that you can see in this position of what you can see is that you know that you're not seeing something correctly. So you see that you're not seeing it correctly, which is interesting, right? The question we asked is, what don't you see? But this is encouraging me that you know something is wrong. And we saw that with the scythe being right at the center of the reading too, that we know something is wrong, but you also know that something is wrong. The broken mirror is seeing something not right, but you are aware of that. So that's the first step, is being aware of this. I think another thing though that you are seeing is that it's as though you know your guides are here. So I know many of you who watch this channel are very highly spiritual people, which is what's drawn you here. So it doesn't surprise me that you are aware that you have a spirit guide around you, but this is what this is telling me. The dog and the lily in this position together are really strongly telling me that you know your guides are guiding you, which is why you're able to understand these things, that it's starting to dawn on you that you're not seeing it correctly. But in the positions of what you can't see or what you don't see, because it's in this corner, energy in these spreads moves this way. And so the things that are over here can sometimes be missed because they're sort of in this hidden position. So what we're getting is the letter and the tower. So I think what you are not seeing in this case is that you're going to get a message, because the letter is about messages and the tower is again about our intuition, meditation, being alone, being isolated. I think that there is going to be some kind of a communication that comes in from your guides that you're not seeing. Or maybe there already is a communication from your guide that you're not seeing. So what this tells me is you're aware that your guides are there, but you might not be listening to what your guides are saying. So it's important, I think, with this letter, the letter card is really telling me for you to watch out for the signs. Look for synchronicities, look for coincidences, look for numbers or signs or letters or omens, things that mean something to you, because your guides are very strongly trying to come through. I can see with the woman, the cross, and the letter that there is a spiritual message trying to come through from this guide who's showing up as a woman. So you might have a female spirit guide. There may be an important female that you lost in this lifetime that's trying to get through to you about this situation. So make that make sense for you, but I can see that in this particular column here. So I also like to read these two arrows. There's an upward pointing arrow going this way, and there's a downward pointing arrow going this way. And I think if we start with the downward pointing arrow, we're seeing that this woman is showing you the solution with the key to perhaps a repetitive pattern that you're in with this person, with this job, with this situation. She's trying to show you that you're repeating, that you're looping with this ring. And that's the incorrect way of seeing it. Staying in this situation is the incorrect way of seeing it. If we go this way with the upward pointing arrow, we're seeing that the communication that your guides are trying to send to you, so look for that communication, is the answer to escaping and going towards you and your highest good, your highest intuition, your highest wisdom. Your wisdom comes from escaping this situation, is really what this is telling me. So just to wrap this all up, it appears that your guides are really trying to get a message through to you that could be in the form of this reading. This reading could be the message that you were looking for, to escape whatever this situation is that you know is wrong, because that's going to really push you forward to your wisdom and your intuition with the moon and the lily. Whatever you might still not be seeing is going to be overcome with your intuition and your spiritual wisdom. And with the help of your guides, you're going to get out of here because you've been there too long. The situation was meant to teach you something, so it was meant to happen the way it did. But now it's time to move forward because you've learned that lesson. You have the key in your past, which means you've already learned that lesson. So there you go. There is your reading for what you cannot see. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? Consider subscribing to the channel if you like my vibe, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.